Welcome to In the Black. I'm your financial design coach, Aaron Smith. Once again, our new podcast helping you increase your knowledge as it relates to money. I hope you have enjoyed the podcast that we've developed for you as of recent. Hopefully you've been able to not only watch the podcast, but learn something from each cast as we help you increase your knowledge so that you can be successful financially for not only yourself, but also your family. Look here, I'm going to extend the conversation this evening. I'm going to talk about, continue our conversation in regards to debt. Once again, I have right here in front of me, I have a roadmap. This is your financial roadmap for living life on purpose. This roadmap right here is all you need to understand to be able to reach the goals that you're trying to accomplish financially. We all have goals in our lives financially that we want to obtain. For example, you may need money for an upcoming wedding that you're planning. That's a financial goal. You may be interested in creating enough money to put a down payment on a home, on your first house, or your second home. That is a financial goal that you have that requires money. You may be interested in leaving an inheritance to your children or to your grandchildren. That is a financial goal that requires money. So as we've gone through the segments of this podcast, this document right here helps you start to plan the financial future that's important to you. We've talked about cash reserves as part of this document. We've talked about what is cash reserves and an emergency account, dollars that you set aside just in case you need those dollars if you were to, let's say, lose your job temporarily, or you may be in a situation where you may become disabled temporarily, right? You need to have a cash reserve that you can go to not have to use credit in order to get you to the next place in your life financially. We talked about the importance of creating, at least for starters, $1,000 in your emergency account. If you already have an emergency account, many of you who do have one, you may have substantial amount of dollars in your emergency account. It's important that you think about, maybe I have too much in my emergency account or in my cash reserves. I need to maybe look at other places to have those dollars. That's what we have talked about in this podcast over the last couple of weeks. As we continue our conversation in this cast, the last conversation we talked about was the importance of understanding mortgage debt. We're going to carry the conversation on to other parts of debt, things that we borrow money for, how debt works, whether that debt is a personal credit card, it might be a personal loan that you own. It could also be a loan that you may have borrowed dollars from a personal friend, right? These are what we call debts. Debts come with a rate of interest that you must pay back on that debt. Not only the payment that you're paying, but also included in that payment is what is called interest. And most of the interest that you pay on your debt, it actually comes up and it's top loaded or front loaded, we should say, as it relates to your debt. So many times when you create debt, it's very difficult to pay that debt off simply because most of the interest is front loaded, where you may be paying that debt back for many years and not feeling that you're getting anywhere as it relates to debt. So the point I want to make here in this cast is that sometimes it's necessary to have debt, but you want to create debt that you only need, not the debt that you are encouraging yourself to get into that is maybe not as necessary that you get into. For example, going on a vacation and using debt. So once again, this is In the Black, Living Your Dream. I'm Aaron Smith, your financial design coach. We have other coaches that can assist you, can hold your hand as it relates to building a strategy to help you eliminate your debt in the most efficient way so that you can start building the wealth that you desire. Once again, look here. We'll talk to you next time. We'll see you soon.